Howdy folks, here we are again. I got an email from a chap called George recently telling me that he's been having some fun running some old Triumph stock with his young grandson called Max. I think Max is only 4 years old, I think. But this old 37 refuses to go despite George's best efforts. So I agreed to have a wee look at it and see if I could get this running for young Max, as this is his favourite locomotive apparently, and he really wants it running. So anyway, turn on the power. Absolutely nothing. Completely dead. So we'll get this into the bench and see if we can sort it out. I think the 4F's going to have to do the shunting here. Okay, the old Hornby Class 37. I think the full story with this was that Max's father bought this for him as an eBay non-runner, but George has not been able to get this to go. Now George did say that the front bogie here, all the wheels are plastic. So somebody was being a wee bit optimistic there. I mean, I think the bogey's original, and the pickups are fine, but yeah, those are not the right wheels. I've worked on my own 37 many times, so this is one model I am very familiar with. So I'm aware of all its little foibles, and I say mine didn't run out the box back in the 70s, but when it did run, when I got it back from Hornby and it did run, it was a noisy thing, and it used to run really slow. It used to take a bit of time to warm up, and then once it would make all sorts of screeching noises and just run really poorly until it was warmed up, and then it ran fine. But I used to run it all the time. I absolutely love my 37. Right, okay. Just a wee look at this. The wires are disconnected, but I say George has been fiddling around with this to try and get it to go. So I'm not seeing anything obviously wrong with it. So okay, let's get it apart and see if we can see what's wrong. I mean, on my one, the armature did burn out. So, that's a possibility that the armature's dead. Okay, battery test. Absolutely nothing. Oh, hang on, I've just spotted something. The contact on the top here is not making contact with that pickup. Could be something as simple as that. Give that a wee bend. Right, so that now makes contact. Right, I'm getting sparks now, but still no movement. Do some continuity testing, and then we'll take it apart. But let's just see if we can see anything untoward. The clip is not holding in the brush properly. It's actually not making contact. That clip seems really loose. Yeah, there's not a good contact between the clip and this brush and these pickups and this brush. So I think we strip it all down, give it a good clean up, and see what's going on with this clip. Let's take it apart, and then we'll find out. Let's see. It's not broken, but it just seems really bendy. Well, we'll see what we can do about that. This off. No, the traction magnets are missing. You kind of need the traction magnets in this motor, not for magnet adhesion purposes, but more to keep the bearings in place, stop the armature moving about. Take the wheels out, gears in that looking good condition. Magnet out. That's out. Alright, let's get a look at this. Yeah, bearings are done. Way too much play. One of the suspension loops is broken off entirely. and this one is just about to come off. I know you can glue something on the top of the bearing there to replace that little hoop, but it won't work as well. There's a lot of play in there. So even if I can get this working, this will be really noisy. So if I can get the motor to work, we'll see if George is okay about getting some replacement bearings. Right, okay, let's see if this armature's okay. So and we're okay between that pole and that pole, and resistance readings are okay. So anything between the armature shaft and the commutator? No. So I think the armature's okay. I just think we need to get better contact with the brushes and clean everything up. So we'll get these pickups into the metal cleaner, make sure they're nice and clean because they really have to be. Brushes appear to be okay. Get this off. So, and then we'll get the metal cleaner and we'll just pop all the metal parts into that, including the brushes. Okay, so we'll leave these to soak for a good few hours, and that's me for today with this one. I'll come back to this tomorrow. We'll reassemble it and see if we can get it to go. As I say, I think the armature is fine. I think it'll go. My main concern is the bearings and the lack of traction magnets, but we'll see. So, a day later, all my metal parts have had a good soak, and they're all nice and super clean now. Still a wee bit residue in places, but we'll brush that off. But we'll get them in there, and then we'll give them a rinse under some clean water to get all this ammonia solution off. Just cleaning the commutator with some T-cut as usual. I'll give it a squish. Right, we'll get this back together and see if it works. So I'll put that in there, take the magnet out just now. That goes through there like that. And then fit the magnet. I'm going to worry about which way around it is at the moment. Right, now because I don't have traction magnets, I'll need to fit the wheels and then this plate to keep it all together. Okay, let's get this in position properly. Now, north should be that way, so yeah, we're correct. Okay, I'm going to take this over to my remagnetizer. So I moved my remagnetizer onto another table just so I don't have to move it around all the time, you know, because it's kind of a precious bit of equipment. Okay, 1, 2, and that's done. Okay, pop the little screw thing on the top. Put that over there. Refit these pickups. Fit that across there. Okay, I've given this clip a bit of a bend just to see if we can get some more tension on the brushes, but I don't know. Let's see, put this across there. That. Right, okay. I'll take this off. I can fit the brushes. Last time I worked on one of these, I got a comment from someone saying that you can fit the brushes from the top. Yeah, you can, but I still find it easier to do it this way. Fit them like so, and then put this on and manipulate the brushes into position as you lower this back on, like that. Get all my pickups inside the wheels. It all looks okay. We'll get the screw in there, and then a little insulating sleeve, which is not the original one. Looks like a bit of insulation from a wire. That's fine. Okay, now does that work? Battery. There we go. Yeah, the armature's bouncing around, especially at that end. That's wiggle. At this end, yeah, it's not too bad. That's because the bearings are done and there's no traction magnets. Right, okie dokie. We'll break the news to George. So here we are a couple of days later. George agreed to get the replacement parts. So here's the new bearings, some new traction magnets, and some wheels that are only insulated against the axle on the one side. So hopefully they should fit into there and get pick up from that bogie. Right, okay. So we'll get the bearings fitted onto this armature. So obviously to replace the bearings, we need to take the worm gears off. So we'll just pull them off. Oh, that's stiff. There we go. So that's that bearing off. And that one. So fit the new bearing on there and pop the worm gear on. So I'm going to fit one worm gear at a time because it won't fit in this clamp otherwise. I've still to find a better tool than this for pushing gears on. This is a miter clamp, but it does a pretty good job. Place of pressing on gears. Right, put the other bearing on and the other worm gear. If anybody knows of a better tool for doing this, please let me know. I mean, I guess a vise, you know, if I can get a vise that opens up wide enough, I think the vise in my shed would probably do the job. But I kind of like this because you've got a flat surface to put the armature against while you're adjusting it. So I kind of like it. Oof. Come on, I can't get this undone now. There we go. That's not bad. I think we'll go with that. Bit of oil on these bearings now. And then we'll get this back together. Right, fit these traction magnets now. They will help keep everything in place. Just check this motor spins freely, which it does, that's fine. We'll stick this in the remagnetizer and give it another blast. Okay, remagnetized. We'll pop this back on. Just realised I haven't cleaned the wheels. Deary, I'll take them out and give them a blast with the rotary tool. I should point out that if you're using a rotary tool with a brush like this to clean something, wear eye protection. You know, I wear these, they're 4 times magnifying glasses, but if you don't wear glasses, for goodness sake, wear some eye protection, because tiny little pieces of the brush will come pinging off, and you can feel them pinging off your face, you know, so you don't want that in your eyes. Right, we'll give these a scoosh with the contact cleaner. I'm cleaning the inside of the wheels as well, obviously, because that's where the pickups make contact. Right, so we want to get these wheels out and these wheels in. So let's see if we can just lever these out like that. So just get the manky brush in there to get crap out. Dry white lube. Just powdered PTFE basically. Brush away some of that excess. Okay, these wheels I got from Peter's Spares. They're 12.6mm 3-hole wagon and coach wheels, 25.6mm by 2mm live axle. So one wheel, this one, is insulated from the axle, but this one isn't. So current will pass through this wheel into the axle and then will be picked up from the pickup. So I think this one will want to fit that way around. I don't like the way these pickups are actually overly bent. Let's just straighten them out a bit. There we go, that's one in. And then this one I want to go the other way around. Just check that these are picking up current. Hold that there, touch this axle, should get a beep. Yep. And hold that against there, and touch this axle, I should get a beep. Yep. So I want to solder the green wire to this side. No. Black wire to this side and the green wire to this side. Right, I think that'll do. Gently plunk that on there and make sure that's going to move without those solder joints getting put under stress. Pop this clip back on. Okie dokie. Yeah, it seems okay. So I think we'll give this body a bit of a clean up. It's pretty dirty. It's got lots of scratches and scuffs, but that's okay. That's just all part of its history. But yeah, it needs a bit of a clean up. There's also a buffer missing. Have I got any spare buffers? Yeah, this is the only buffer I've got that'll fit, but I've had to cut it down a wee bit. But that'll go in there fine. A wee spot of glue, I think. Right, okay. Some cotton buds and some warm soapy water. And we'll give this a clean up. Okay, so one last thing just before I fit the body is I'm going to put a chunk of lead on here because it's these are far too light at the front. They have a tendency to derail, so a little bit extra weight will help that. Right, a bit extra lead there, maybe not too pretty, but it'll do the job. Let's get that on there. And we'll fit the body. And of course, don't over tighten that screw. Right, okay, there we are. Let's pop this onto the test track. Okie dokie, right, let's go and pull this out of the shed and give it a run round the layout. Okay then, out she comes.
So there we are, that's another old Class 37 brought back to life. I think this is a bit of a Frankenstein model, as it's got the older chassis and motor, but the later body. I've got the earlier one, and the loco is numbered D6830, whereas this one is 37130. And it's also got the holes for the clips on the body that aren't actually present on the chassis. So that, coupled with the incorrect wheels on the front bogie and what looks like a very shiny looking armature, tells me that this is a bit of a scrapbox special, but you know, that's fine, there's no wrong with that. So yeah, the reason this wasn't running was that there was no tension on the brushes from the clip, and that meant there was barely any contact between the brushes and the commutator. And also the pickups needed a good clean. You really do need to keep the pickups clean on this particular motor. So I fitted new bearings and traction magnets, and also conductive wheels on the front bogie, just to ensure that this locomotive runs nicely. It'll run okay without the traction magnets, but they do serve a dual purpose, so to speak, in keeping the bearings in place, which takes pressure off the gears, so it's a good idea to keep them. If I had a 3D printer, it would maybe be possible to model and print off little plastic blocks in the same shape as the traction magnets. That would avoid the sideways pull on the wheels, but still keep the bearings in place. Another thing to watch out for with these is the wheel spacing on the drive wheels. If it's too wide or too narrow, you'll get derailments and lumpy running and noise and all sorts. So make sure the wheel spacing is set about 14 or 14.1 millimeters. But there we are. I hope your Macs will have fun with this now, so I'll get it packed up and sent back to George. Okay folks, catch you later.